So the Oscars came on last night, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I only watched the Oscars because I wanted to see the live performance of "We Don't Talk About Bruno."
Only reason
that was the only reason I tuned in, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a little lackluster for me. But we stayed tuned in, and thank God we did, because we saw live the smack heard round the world.
All I want is you, baby. All I want, all I want is you, baby. More than I need, what you want, girl, it's yours. Give me your feelings, I just can't ignore. All I want is you, baby. Give me your time, all your love, I've been patient.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Russell the Fourth.
Hey everybody, it's me, Brandi.
And welcome to another episode of the What They Never Told Us podcast. What up, dude? Welcome back, man. It is What They Never Told Us history being made right now. For the first time, we are recording in a full house.
Yeah. All the kids are here.
It's never happens.
We usually record maybe one's in the house, and he's the oldest, and he knows what it means when we say be quiet. The two little ones,
Facts. And this is also the first time we've ever recorded an episode so close to the release date. So
yeah,
it is Monday night, and this episode is airing tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
this is unprecedented. We've never done this before.
Hot off the presses.
What up, y'all? This is like
for all our third shifters who like to listen to us, over the midnight. We apologize in advance. This one's gonna come out early in the morning.
Yeah, like 2.
But
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe like
y'all
2.
might still be able to catch it.
Maybe able to catch it. Check back in. I'm talking like they can hear me now.
No, for real, there'll be a little bit of a delay, but we still here. We still coming. It's still Tuesday all day long.
We still here, and it's been busy, so it's a lot we have to pack in.
It is.
I feel like I've been ripping and running.
We get married in 5 days.
Come on.
One thing I am sick of, and I'm just ready, for the wedding to be over, because people keep asking me, "Are you ready?" If I wasn't ready, I would not have said yes. I'm ready. Stop asking me, am I ready?
Everybody keep asking me the same thing. Hey, you ready? You ready? I'm like, yeah, man. I've been through this before, man.
Not that it's the same, but that, I don't know, those initial,
some people in their first marriage, it's like they nervous about getting married.
Yeah.
We've been through that. Nervous about being married.
Yeah, no. I don't think I'm nervous about it. I know that it's going to be a different experience, and I'm excited for that experience.
I hope so.
I think before it was more of nerves about the wedding day.
Oh, for sure.
And I really did my best to try to cut all that out by saying we're gonna do a saying sign ceremony. It's gonna be real simple. Somebody decided to flip the switch on me in the ninth hour.
It's still real laid back. I don't know why you acting like we doing all that. We are not.
We're not doing all that, but we're doing more than I intended.
This girl is doing all this because I'm asking her to walk down the aisle. She wanted to mob. She wanted to mob down the aisle. Everybody get 6 niggas coming down the aisle saying, "Hey, we here." I
think it would have been good. One band, one sound. We a family. We a unit. We coming in there together.
So are we? Is the family not coming down the aisle?
Separately divided.
Yeah, have your moment. I just want to see you. I just want to see you walk to me.
See, he just make it sound so sweet. The whole time I was just like, look, can we just show up at the aisle?
She's supposed to be chilling and I was talking to everybody. What's up, y'all? Yeah. Well, I guess we'll get started.
Y'all ready?
Come on up here, Brandi.
That's what I was looking for. We gonna do the Price is Right. We all just sitting there. All right, it's your turn. Brandi and Russell, come on down.
I still would feel like a ceremony,
So now I'm walking down the aisle.
There you go. It's gonna be good.
Solo dolo.
It's gonna be good.
My crew not gonna be with me.
Jesus walk you down now. The Holy Spirit gonna be right with you.
Don't do that.
It's gonna be good. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like every day it hits me
Can
a little
you
bit
scoot
more.
back over in front of your mic or move your mic in front
Can
of you?
you not cut me off when I'm talking about how excited I am to marry you?
I can't really hear you. Okay. So if I can't hear you, they can't hear you.
Moment's dead. So what's been going on with more news?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm so excited. I really can't wait to. Can you scoot up to your mic, please?
Oh, it doesn't feel good, does it?
Who does that?
Well, so we looking for help. See, I'm jumping in front of
No,
an episode that y'all
off.
haven't seen.
I cut you, and they're not gonna see it. So yeah,
they is gonna see it.
That ain't the one.
That's cheating.
No, that was a marriage one.
Okay.
Oh, it
Russell
was
knows
cheating.
everything. Thank
But
you.
hold on. But I ain't cut you off. You was done talking. I just didn't respond the way you wanted me to.
Okay, you can say everything so eloquent and so beautiful where nobody can hear you. Sure, go ahead.
I don't like the way this episode started. It feels real contentious. We finna get married in a couple of days.
You ready to fight? I'm
Who,
a fighter.
me?
You a fighter. Let's go.
Who's ready to fight? How are you reading this?
That's why you talking like you won't smoke.
I don't want any type of smoke I want.
What the 5 fingers say to the face?
You're whack. You're you're losing your Segway crown right now. It is decaying in your hands. That's not it. So there's a reason why we kind of called an audible. We had 2 episodes in the tuck ready to be released. And as I'm sure you all know, we had to flip the script because it was some stuff we needed to talk about.
We had a Black History moment occur
What'd he say?
last night.
That man said, "This is the greatest night in network television."
In television history.
In television history.
And he was absolutely 100% correct because
So
there is no way that we could skate around
yeah.
talking about the 2022 Oscars.
So for the people who just might have been living under a rock
A big rock.
and just came out to listen to our podcast, please break down what we're talking about.
So the Oscars came on last night, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I only watched the Oscars because I wanted to see the live performance of "We Don't Talk About Bruno."
Only reason
That was the only reason I tuned in, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a little lackluster for me.
7
But
frame.
we stayed tuned in, and thank God we did, because we saw live the smack heard round the world.
What happened?
And there was no way that we could come here and not talk about it. So Chris Rock was introducing the award for Best Documentary. He's scanning the room, making jokes as a comedian does. And he found Will and Jada Smith. He says to Jada something along the lines about her being in the next G.I. Jane movie, which cultural reference, or, you know, if you're a millennial or younger, you probably don't know what G.I. Jane is, but shaved her head, and Jada is currently bald.
Yes.
So he made the comment, and immediately on Jada's face, you saw that it was not a joke. She was not playing. She was not here for them games. Will kind of chuckle, ha, ha, ha. Cut back to Chris Rock. You see the shock and awe on his face, as then we learn Will Smith is now approaching the stage.
Yeah.
This man came up in true Black mama fashion. No words. He was smiling. And he proceeded to smack the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth. And not in like just a ha-ha, psh. You know, he really hit him.
Yeah.
Chris Rock took a step, lost his stance.
Yeah.
He hit him. And we rewound it about 7 times.
Yeah. I at first I was like, yo, is this real? Because at first I thought it was staged.
I think everybody
It
did.
happened. He executed it so perfectly. And Chris didn't really react like somebody who got smacked. Who just got smacked.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I couldn't hear nothing. I was like, oh, they censored it. And I said, oh, hold on. Was that real? Then they panned to Will,
who was in the crowd.
Yeah, you could read his
continuing
lips.
to shout expletives.
You could hear so on our end, you know, we're in Eastern Standard Time. So by the time we saw it, they were able to kind of go and do a quick edit
Yeah.
before we saw it. And You couldn't hear Will, but you could clearly read his lips. And I was like, okay, yo, this is real.
And for me, still, I wasn't sure because Will Smith, not for nothing, he's a great actor, right?
Absolutely.
So I couldn't necessarily read his lips, but I saw the expression in his face.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, yo, wait a minute. This is for real. But then I saw who I think should actually get the crown for the greatest moment in
I don't know how she hasn't been memed yet. It's coming. It's coming for. Ain't no way.
Is I don't want to get her name, but Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Honey, because at first she was laughing too. I think she was trying to put it together in her mind, like Will was yelling, and she's like, is this fun? Oh no, he's for real.
Like, no, that was
and
real.
she looked, and then she started to agree with him, like, yeah, like keep his wife's name out your mouth. So then that's when I knew for me, all right, this ain't a game. So Russell's like, we gotta record this. Like, hurry up, get your phone out, rewind it. And I thought that they were cutting the show as they were rewinding it because
I think they did. Some people couldn't rewind it back.
Yeah, as we were trying to go, our clip kept getting shorter and shorter, but we caught it. We posted it on social media to like say, hey, did anybody just catch this? Weigh in. And under my comments when I posted it, there were very mixed reviews, but most people thought it was fake.
So let me get your scathing hot take uninterrupted. I'm not going to interject at all. I want to get your unfiltered take on what do you think? Because there's been a lot of think pieces just in the day. Mm-hmm. This happened Sunday night, and between then and Monday night, there's been a ton of think pieces, ton of commentary, and we've been reached out to quite a bit. I know I've gotten 3 messages, DMs via Instagram, Facebook, like, yo, y'all gotta talk about this on the pod. So look, this is how you know we rock with y'all. We called a whole audible. So what do you think? Where do you land on when you look back on what happened Sunday night?
So if people on here watch or follow us on Facebook, I think you get my take very clearly based on the commentary from the video that we took. But in a nutshell, I do not disagree with Will Smith's reaction. And I'm choosing to say it in that particular way because, one, I don't condone violence in any setting if nobody has put their hands on you first. 2, this was a moment. Like, I think not for whatever reason, you hear a lot about what white people try to do to make black people feel more inclusive. Whatever reason the Oscars did that this year, I think they really did it. They really made an intentional act to make this more inclusive than just nominees, black production, black band, it was black people everywhere in there. So for this pivotal moment in the history of the Oscars to be deduced down to the smack heard around the world.
A moment, yeah.
I don't like that. I do believe, even if he still felt the need to put hands on him, you Will Smith, you can get backstage at the Oscars. While he was still presenting, I would have got my butt up, walked behind that stage. Soon as he got his award, I would have handled my business. I don't like the platform that he chose to do it in. However, as a black woman who has been openly disrespected in this world, I'm not talking about white people disrespecting black women. I'm talking about me being disrespected and being left out there on an island to defend myself when a man could have stepped up for me. I support him 100%. And I expect my man to come in the same fashion. Now, you ain't got to smack people in public, but keep that same energy. I need Will Smith energy. Like, I need to know that when we go out somewhere, if somebody steps to me, if somebody disrespects me in front of you, you're not going to cower behind or shrink down to words. Like, handle your business. And it ain't always putting your hands on somebody, but if there's a situation where I feel disrespected, not what you feel for me, but if I feel disrespected and I'm communicating that to you and that's coming from a man, I expect you to handle that man. I ain't going to tell you how to do it, but I expect you to do it. So I agree with him 100%. I will also say, though, I don't think Chris Rock knew she had alopecia. I think he was just making a comment on her appearance. Now, right or wrong, should he be commenting on a woman's appearance? What's the boundaries for a comedian? We can go back and forth on that all day. But point blank period, I don't think that he knew she had alopecia. And I think he just made a joke with bad timing given what she's experiencing.
Absolutely.
That's where I land.
So there is there's been a lot of stands that people have taken, right? Like anytime the stars align, right? And there's such a moment that happens on probably arguably one of the biggest moments in entertainment, right? Of
Stages,
the year.
yeah.
And one of the biggest stages of the year, the Oscars, the Grammys. What else are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's other award shows, but those are like really, those are the ones, right? So when we decided we want to talk about this, I was like, you know what? I can give my opinion, right? But I want to do it on as much information as possible, right? Like I want to form my opinion on as much information as I can gather. You know what I mean? We got this platform. I'm like, yo, let me just try and gather what I can. I agree with you. Initially, right? And I we talked about this in a moment. I was like, man, like there are certain things that as a black person, I think we feel as a people, right? It's only about a handful of us that get in rooms like that.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that on this year, it was the first time Will Packer, a black man, had the opportunity to produce this award show. First time they put it in our hands, like take it, run with it. It also happened to be the time where it looked like they were going above and beyond to create, like you said, an inclusive environment for black people. Wanda Sykes was killing it. So was, I can't think of her name. Regina King was smoking it. Regina Hall, right? Regina Hall, right?
I don't know.
Regina King's the
Hall.
one.
Yes.
Regina Hall. They were smoking. They were hilarious. Will Smith, I think everybody kind of felt it like, yo, he got a real shot to win this award.
Yeah.
So you're right. I agree like that. When you think about us as a people, right, there's always this thing like, man, don't represent bad. You know, we know that we represent more than just ourselves in almost every moment. On my job, I know I just don't represent me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We feel that.
Yes.
So there was that piece. And some people die on that hill. Some people, you could tell that that's what they really care about. But then I talked to my homegirl today at work. Shout out Diamond. What up, Diamond? And we got to talking about it. And she was emotionally moved, talking about her own experiences. And as she was talking to me, I said, black women in this country are, if not one of the most disrespected and unprotected members of this society. We can debate it, but you can't say it's not an argument.
And you can't discount somebody else's experience. So all the people who try to argue that are not black women.
Absolutely. And thank you. Thank you. So when I sat in that, I understand, and I can tell by Will's acceptance speech, he's aware of that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody, and all these, I'm sorry, excuse my language, all these niggas on Facebook was frustrating me today. How this nigga gonna cry? Like, you soft, blah, blah, blah. Y'all old, untouched with your emotions. Mama didn't hug me enough, Negroes. Like, you can tell that this man is experiencing emotion because he realized this moment is bigger than him, and he's trying to acknowledge and also communicate where he's at. Because there is a point where you just like, I got to pick what hill I'm standing on. You know what I mean? And this man and his marriage have been under a magnifying glass and a weight for the last 3 years. Just scrutiny. And it's really Will. Will's been the one catching most of these, hands and people saying this and saying that. And you're right. I don't think Chris Rock knew. And this is what I was looking up when he was talking. Did you know Chris Rock is on the spectrum? He is diagnosed with Asperger's. And I didn't know that. I found an article on the Today Show in 2020 where he went into detail about it. We watched the show Everybody Hates Chris where he was like always getting picked on. Getting picked on. But people don't know a lot of times because he just didn't know what to say, how to say it. And you can say he's a little different. You could watch his movies and tell why would you say that? Or why would you write that, right? Like you different. So there's that added layer of, okay, you might not known about it, but even if you did you really... Were you aware? You know what I mean?
The weight of that, yeah.
And most of us, even if we didn't know shit out of alopecia, we know I'm not going to comment on another man's wife's appearance.
Yeah.
And comedians push the boundaries a little bit, and I get that. But everybody got their boundaries. Yeah. And I don't think Chris Rock was the starting point, but he definitely was the breaking point.
Yeah.
And everybody's got that. Everybody's got that breaking point. And when that comment was made, I don't think it hit him. Everybody was saying like he was laughing at it. I don't think he was, you're the center of attention. Everybody's looking at you just kind of like, ha. But I think in hindsight, he was like, yo, wait. And then he looked, like you said, he looked at her and he saw it on her face. You step behind your wife, bro. Like you choose what's important to you. In that moment, he chose family. He chose to make a statement. I chose to stand by this woman after all the stuff I've been through. I've been the butt of the joke. He's been taking them great. I don't know if y'all see his Instagram. He pokes fun at himself.
Yeah.
He's been taking all these jokes in stride. But this was a moment where he made a statement that he stood behind. And I think even if you don't necessarily say, okay, I wouldn't have done it like that, I think you have to respect a man's ability to say, I'm a stand on what I believe, and in the moment, this is what I'm choosing.
This is the line. So I'm gonna be transparent and explain a situation that I had. And in this situation, I think we talk about Black women being marginalized and disrespected and discounted and all of that. A lot of that comes from our own people. And so when everybody said, well, these was two Black men, this was two this, like we don't realize that we are the hardest on our people. And I don't think that I realized that until I made it to high school. I was 17, 18. I was in my like second relationship after us, right? I had started becoming sexually active, but I was really like close about it. Like only my circle of friends really knew because there was a certain connotation back in high school when we grew up about girls who were having sex. I was in a room full of men and two of my girlfriends, and a guy asked my current boyfriend about sex with me. How was it? What was it like? Is it she a baddie? Not that word because we weren't using that back then, but given this theme and asking him to expound on what it was like to have sex with me.
Wow.
And when one person asked, and my boyfriend at the time didn't, like, yo, what are you talking about? First he kind of laughed it off, but then the other guys in the room started to join in and ask questions. And I think in a way he kind of felt pressure to answer the question, but then he, began to expound on that. And I felt this big, and I'm sitting right next to him, and the visual cues that Jada was giving Will, I put myself in that. I felt that in that moment. Like there's a room full of people laughing at me about something that I'm already insecure about. And it shines a spotlight on all of the insecurities that you feel, one, as a woman, now as somebody who's, having sex and, feeling not so okay about it. She is talking about this thing, but I think she's talking about it to feel better about it. You know what I'm saying? I read the articles where she talks about having alopecia, and she talks about it being a real insecurity for her.
Wow.
And now you have somebody who's making light of it.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I wasn't protected. I walked away from that feeling horrible and wishing that the person that I had been laying down with every, not every night, but, occasionally, as we do in high school, would have stepped up for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what their home would have been like if he didn't make a stance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know. I feel like there's certain things like you need to see in the person that you're with.
100%.
Right? And I was unaware. I had no idea. I didn't know she had alopecia. Because number one, shout out to Jada. She looks absolutely beautiful. Absolutely.
If anybody can rock a bald head, it's like.
I mean, I'm like, yo, I thought she chose that. I'm like, yo, she's pulling that off.
You're like, well, her daughter did that too.
Yeah. So I had no idea. So it was through the situation that I became, aware of that. And that gives context to those emotions. Because when you got a front row seat to what somebody's going through, there should be no other person in the room who, of course, y'all don't understand. Of course, y'all judging and making it seem like, yo, he overreacted. But you don't see what he sees.
Yeah, you don't see her in the morning in the mirror or at night.
You ain't see her before the awards show. He's telling you look beautiful. I mean,
deciding if she should wear a wig or not wear a wig.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tough.
They don't know the struggle. And when somebody takes the opportunity to poke, whether it's in jest, maybe he didn't know, regardless, this is a moment. You step behind people that you love. I love his comments. I love what he said. And I was hoping when he was up for that award, I was like, I hope he gets an opportunity to go say something.
Yeah.
Because if we just have that with no context, it already didn't look good. But at some point I'm like, man, forget that room. Like we've been fighting. Matter. We've been fighting to like be in rooms as long as I can remember. We've been fighting to be in rooms since segregation. We want to go to the same schools. We're in a place right now where we can create our own rooms. You know what I mean? Like, forget that award show. You know what I mean? Like, really though, this moment was bigger than that. It was an opportunity, and it's kind of tied along the stuff that we've been talking about, gender roles and this kind of like history that the black man specifically has of having to take a front row seat on your woman being disrespected since slavery days. You sitting back watching your wife get raped. You sitting back watching your wife get beaten and disrespected and talked too crazy, and you're not in position to protect her.
Your family being sold away.
You know what I mean? And there's still a problem. I don't like the fact that it was a black man. But like you said, we disrespect us too.
All day long.
It's in our music. It's in our conversation. I'd have been in crazy conversations in the locker room that make me be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like this dynamic exists. And it took one of the most unlikely characters.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected that.
Nah.
One of the most unlikely characters. One of our biggest stars, man. Like there's a couple like black couples that are up there for us. And most of them are imaginary. You know what I'm saying? like Bill and Bill
Claire.
Cosby, Claire, Bill and Claire. What was his name on the show? I don't know his name on the show. But anyway.
Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff and Claire. Martin and Pam. No, Martin and Gina.
Boy.
Martin and Gina. But this was a real life couple that like we had up here. So when they started going through marital troubles in front of us, it was kind of like, I don't know. I needed that. You know what I mean? I think the world needed that. And you don't got to agree with it, but I respect and I agree with the stance. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there's a million different ways he could have handled that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you might have handled it differently. He chose that way.
He chose violence.
He chose violence.
Listen.
Yo, the post he was making before the show, I don't think he knew what was going to happen. But when I went back to Instagram to see the stuff he was posting before the show, I was like, oh, okay, this is just perfect now.
See, what got me was, and I'm still Team Will. I still agree, not necessarily with him putting his hands on somebody, but I agree with him standing up for his woman. Whatever that looked like for him, I'm behind you 100%. What I did not like is the after. So I saw a clip of
party?
him at the party.
Getting jiggy with it?
Getting jiggy with it. I didn't expect him to go home and sulk, but it did appear like there was no remorse. And not that he should have remorse for standing up, but
I don't think he felt no ways bad about it.
I think that, because Chris Rock put out a statement.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
What? Read it. No.
Yeah,
I got you. Say less.
Chris Rock put out a statement, and in the statement, he said, I disrespected my friends, which made me think that they had a relationship prior to. And with them having a relationship prior to, made me feel like there was a conversation that could have been had. Even if he's not apologizing for what he did, which I don't believe that he should have done.
Oh, wow.
There should have been a conversation.
I think we need to read this. Did you hear Will Smith's statement?
No.
Go ahead, finish it up.
That was it. I just think that there should have been a conversation, and it didn't look, quote unquote, good for the smack heard round the world happens. He does his acceptance speech and apologizes to the Academy and to the people there, which I thought was great. There was an acknowledgement, but not really an acknowledgement. He kind of spoke around it. And then the very next time we see him is him partying, holding his Grammy, singing his songs, and crowds of people around him. There just didn't appear to be. I saw the tears right after. You see the clip of him talking to Denzel and Tyler Perry, and you can tell that they're trying to console him. This is before he even does his speech. This is right after the smack happens. So it made me feel like, okay, there is some emotion there. There's some feeling there towards the act.
That wasn't just about Chris Rock.
No, I know it wasn't.
Yeah.
100% I know it wasn't. I think, one, he felt the weight of what he had just done, and there might have been a little bit of, but I also think that he felt like, yo, my woman is hurt. Like, and because she hurt, I'm hurt. And this is how it came out. But it didn't change my mind on what he did. But I just didn't like the celebratory. Like, that's the very next image that we
celebrating that he smacked him. He just won the greatest award in his field.
I know. It wasn't a good look, in my opinion.
I feel you. I feel no ways about it. Like, in
my opinion,
he won the biggest award. Go party. Like, end of the day, like, you made a decision. I don't think it should ruin your night. Like,
or go sit with your wife. Either or.
She was there too. You didn't see her behind them dancing. They had a great night.
Go have a moment.
They stood up for Black Love. They
go have some honey bung bung, because I know she wanted to after that. Because I would have been like, yes, honey, come here.
That's me. I'm smacking somebody and we turning up afterward.
No, we not.
I will. I want to read this statement because I think it's up. Now this is from Will Smith. I couldn't find Chris Rock's, but Will Smith posted this 3 hours ago on his profile. He said, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job. But a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in the world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy. All right, we don't care about the Academy. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. So there was somebody else on social media who said the biggest winner/loser of the night was Questlove. And I wanted to take a second just because, so that was the award that Chris Rock was announcing before he made the joke. And Questlove had a beautiful speech. He got emotional. He was talking about his father and what Summer of Soul meant to him personally, making that. And I'm not gonna lie, I know you were on social media during the time. I was like this on social media. Like, social media was going up.
No one was,
and nobody cared about that moment. And I did feel bad about that. Like, I felt like, yo, two of your brothers had a moment that just overshadowed And then Will still got to have his moment.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was taken away from Questlove.
Yeah, I don't think Will was thinking about that stuff.
Obviously not.
It's unfortunate though.
I'm just saying
Joshua
the
Smith,
damage,
one of our good friends, we went to his wedding just was that last year or earlier this year? Anyways, his grandfather is a famous Motown musician, and his work was all through the documentary. His grandfather was in the documentary quite a bit, and I remember seeing him react so much like, man, this is like history, like this is like my legacy here. And he was glued to the screen for that moment, and he was so hurt that this moment was like it overtook it, and it's sad that there's so many people who were affected by that. And even like Serena, Venus Williams, like this was a moment celebrating their father's legacy, what he saw in their life, and it was overshadowed. It's unfortunate. But when you're, like he said, love makes you do crazy things, right? And when you step in and standing behind people that you love, some things just don't matter in that moment
or make sense.
Man, right. I get it. Like I don't think he thought about that. And I can't say if he can go back in time, maybe I think he would have defended, maybe he would have done it differently.
Yeah.
But you just got to respect somebody reaching their breaking point. Like these are real people. Sometimes we forget that.
Yeah.
Real human beings.
Even just, walking up to him and pulling a Kanye, interrupting it. Like, yo, you need to apologize to my wife. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously now he knows that he did something wrong. The story has come out about her. Well, it was already out about her having alopecia, but it's now brought a bigger light to it. But if they did have a true friendship beforehand, I'm sad that it missed the opportunity to just be like, look, you need to apologize to her. Because I believe he would have did it. I believe Chris Rock would have did it.
Did what?
If Will said, yo, you out of line, you need to apologize. I don't like it, whatever. Without putting his hands on him, I believe Chris Rock would have apologized right there in that moment.
Yeah, he probably didn't have to put his hands on him. He could have just went there and said, keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Absolutely.
He probably would have been like, all right, dang, chill.
You need to apologize. Like that was way out of line. I believe he would have apologized.
And low key though, I don't know if there's another professional who can work through that moment like Chris Rock did.
Man, hats off, because I would have told the Oscars up.
Baby, this man got smacked. And within, I don't even know if it was a full minute.
No, he took a quick 20-second pause to be like, yo, this really happened.
Well, see, he was about to go. No, here's the thing. He got smacked. Go back and watch it. He was about to go right into something.
Yeah.
And he said, first they say, yo, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Everybody laughed. We try to figure out, is it real or not? Because Chris Rock's doing such a great job. We like, this can't be real. So he was about to say something. Then Will Smith cuts him off and says, keep my wife name out your effing mouth.
Right.
He said, dude, it was a G.I. Jane joke. And I think this is when steps
it
out of his like performance, his like, kind of like working through it. And he realized it was a moment. And then he says, okay, let me gather myself up. And he says, this is the greatest moment in television.
And then goes right back into present. He said that he was giving out a documentary, but then he corrected himself and he didn't fumble since then.
But just that little statement right there, people don't understand what, like, people think like just going up talking is like an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
It is such an art form. Like, even what we doing right now, like it's not just talking. There's a way to do it. Yeah. There's a whole archive of deleted episodes that will show you when we were trying to figure this out. Like, yo, this ain't cool. I don't want to put this out. Like, something ain't clicking. There's a way to do it. And a little statement just like, this has been the greatest moment in television. And everyone laughs and you just feel the tension ease a little bit. Mm-hmm. It was masterful. And the fact that you could tell he's trying to collect himself. And the prompt, now this, I also heard reports that the prompter went off. Like, because people, they were scrambling.
Yeah, they were probably like, look, this is over. The show is over.
So we ain't had nothing to read. He said, we're here to give out a documentary. Well, an Oscar for a documentary.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hats off to Chris Brown. Yo, he smoked that.
That wasn't Chris Brown, but.
Chris Rock, you know what I mean.
we messing everybody's name up tonight.
I think it was what we say. Regina
King. We done messed everybody's name up.
But yeah, I mean, hats off to him. Like, masterful job. Two of our biggest stars, just great black men. I hate that it unfolded in the way that it did. But once again, it was a moment for us. And I think when it comes to us and the family stuff that we got to work through among just black people, I don't care about no Academy Awards. Forget y'all. Move to the side. We working out family stuff right now. It's generations of dissension between black men and black women. Like,
but if we take the same conversation, but out of that context, like just men standing up for their women. We talked about being a protector. We talked about being a provider. We talked about being the leader of the household, the priest of your household, the visionary, all of that. In order for all of that to happen, I got to feel safe.
Facts.
I got to feel safe emotionally. I got to feel safe physically, spiritually. And the only way that can happen is if I see that demonstration in you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that for whatever reason, we've got plenty. Black women in general have just felt unsafe. And we've developed this tough armor and this air about ourselves that we can handle anything. We can survive anything, which we can. Hello. We're tough skinned. We can just handle it. But it's because we picked that up because we haven't had the shielding and the protection of our men. In today's day and age where we are seeing men, black men, step up in such a great way as fathers, as husbands, as protectors and providers, and it's being displayed across for the world to see, like that was a good moment for me just for that. Forget that it's Will and Jada. Like, I think when we saw women say, if my man don't step behind me like that, then I don't want him.
I'm tired of hearing it, if I'm being honest.
I mean, but that's what we're talking about. I think I've told you from the very beginning of our relationship, what is the one thing that I was looking for?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, every woman, I mean, this is why, like, it's all nature. Like, the reason why we like certain things that we like in a man is because it all boils down to protection, like in the nature thing, like, procreation, a father, what type of father you're going to be, what type of protector you're going to be, all of the things that make attractive counterpart. But on the flip side, right, because I've been hearing women, talk about we've been disrespected this. I want to give some perspective to what men go through, right? Because we've not always been in position to defend, right? And when we go out in the world, a lot of us catch it from all angles.
100%.
Right?
Ooh.
And there was a moment. You all right? Well,
yeah, I'm good. Go ahead. A little twinge in my shoulder. Come on, don't cut off the show.
I'm sorry. I'm stepping on the moment. I got nervous. So look at me protecting you. Look at me.
Right.
Are you okay, Queen?
I'm fine.
No. Okay, I was about to say. What's up? What was I saying? You weren't even listening to me.
Oh my goodness.
Look at you.
You were
listening
talking
to me?
about black men going out in society
Yes,
and being
thank you.
disrespected.
Yeah. So going out in the world, catching arrows from all angles, right? And you come back home and there is this dynamic that exists where black women don't feel safe. So now you go into the home and there's a lot of black men who don't even feel like they're in a position of respect in their own domain, right? They're fighting for respect even there, which is why I think I just even give more credence and respect to what happened. And once again, agreeing with you, I don't condone the violent aspect. I just like the fact that there was a moment of stand up in any fashion. It could happen anyway. Like you said, he could have just went up there and give him the strong finger. I would have respected it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think like given the air of the world right now, I did see a lot of responses saying like, I'm not going to jail for you. I'm not doing this for you. And again, putting hands, whatever. But how do you show that? Yeah. Like if somebody's out there disrespecting your wife, your girlfriend, your mother, your sister, your daughter, how do you show that?
Facts.
Like I know we get these connotations that angry black man and woman and we're aggressive and we're violent. It's because we've had to be, right? Yeah. Words it ain't really working for us.
Yeah. And we be honest, there's a whole bunch of dudes who fought for dumber reasons than that.
Oh, 100%.
I guarantee you half these dudes saying, I ain't going to jail for you, was throwing hands over a basketball game.
Or went to jail for selling a dime bag.
They ain't got to be drug dealers.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, like dudes fight over the dumbest stuff.
Protecting me is a great reason to go to jail. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go to jail for protecting you.
Absolutely. Nah, look here. I'm so serious about this. And I've said this, and these are real thoughts that I've thought in my head. Mm-hmm. I've literally thought and had the concrete thought, okay, there's only a handful of reasons that I'm willing to sit down in somebody's jail, behind bars, and sit down in somebody's prison. My children, my wife, my mama.
I was about to say, I got to add my mama to that list.
My mama. That's it. That's it. And look, I'll be at peace. I did it. I got to
pay the consequences.
I'm going to try to get away. But if I get caught, you got me. Yeah, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just certain things that I feel like, even if I had, like, and there's some people say, like, well, why would you want to spend, your life away from your daughter? Mm-hmm. I feel like I would want her to know.
But it's just some stuff that you just can't let slide. Like we remember when we were watching the show Underground, and you were like, man, you would be a terrible slave. Like if you were a slave, like, you don't know how to be quiet. And I really felt like that. Like
back then you would do it.
That's what you say, but there were slaves who didn't.
They was trying to run. You was one of them.
They didn't cooperate. Like they was like, I don't care. What the old boy say about Killmonger? What he say in the
just throw me in the water with my ancestors who knew was better than what he say?
Better to die than something. I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that would have been my mentality. And so I think about when there were men who were back in this time where they were slaves, where they were seeing these things happen to their family, and they just sat back and took it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we have a history of seeing that. Just saying something, like if I just said I don't want to be a slave, I'm like, oh, okay, we'll let you go free. No, like we had to rise up. We had to fight back. We had to take our freedom. We had to run away. We had to set stuff on fire. Like there was action behind that. And I think that same mentality still lives today.
Oh, yeah.
In some situations, just talking about it isn't going to be enough. And if somebody is disrespecting me or somebody is in front of me disrespecting you, and all I have to say is, don't say that. That's my husband. Don't.
Nah, like it's we see it all the time. Sometimes
you gotta get somebody's face. They be like, yo, do one of these.
Absolutely. Now,
don't talk about my husband.
If you listen to the audio, that's her poking the mic aggressively. That expensive mic.
Sometimes
come down.
You gotta mush somebody. Period.
No, facts. Like this stand around and like just observe. Like we see that all the time. You know what I mean? Like
don't get nothing done.
Yeah. And yo, I got some context too because I haven't read his book yet. But there's a lot of people who read the book who were saying, like, when you know his story, you know what fueled
about Will Smith.
That moment, Will Smith's story. Mm-hmm. So they talked about how, number one, how his mother used to be physically abused, and how he would have to sit back and watch that, and how he, even to this day, is plagued with the thoughts of, I should have did something. I should have. I'm sitting here. I should have did something. So now you're living with this internal guilt of, I failed to protect somebody I love. You know what I mean?
That echoes in our bloodline.
No, I'm telling you, it lives in us.
Our bloodline.
I remember we recently just had in our community, we had a death of a young man. And it was tragic because I didn't know him and have a close personal relationship with him. But just in the community that we're in, we knew that this was a young man who was trying to do positive things in the community. Mm-hmm. He was a single father. He had his own business. He was really making strides to turn his life around and change the narrative that was going on about young black men in the city. He was killed in a fight at a local bar. It was like a biker spot. heard about it and I was really taken back by it. A person who's not even from our city, who I work with, was like, hey man, what's going on in the city? And he showed me his phone and I saw footage of what was happening. Now, the fight's taking place and clearly this man is being assaulted like seriously assaulted, like, you know, his life is in danger. And what stuck out to me was all of the people with their phones out who looked like him. And I'm not disrespecting nobody. If you were there that night, I'm gonna push you a little bit because I want you to think about this. This young man didn't die from being stabbed. He died from blood loss, which means past that, there was a greater stretch of time where people didn't intervene. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that is an example of how we have been ingrained to not take ownership for one another. And I'm not saying everybody who you see who's black in the street, you got to jump up and be Captain Save them. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that this situation with Will and Jada is a testament to a greater issue that lies in our community. So I'm challenging y'all. If you say you love somebody, that's not just a word. That's a commission. That's a vow. That's like, there's action to that. You know what I mean? And it's easy to say that when it's easy to say that. But can you say that when it's time for you to step behind that? I ain't saying you got to go around slapping people who, you know what I'm saying, give her an evil eye or say something to her that she don't like. But I am saying that everybody should feel safe and secure with the person that they're with, that they got you. If you're a woman, you should feel safe and secure that your man is not going to sit back while you're being disrespected. Or when you feel like you're really threatened, ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world. You like, I don't know. Like, it goes without saying to me. Like, even when you saying I need, that's the energy I need. Like, you don't even got to say that. Ain't no way in the world.
And I just believe that, like, we have evidence throughout history, throughout time, that nobody other than us is going to protect us. So if we don't step up for us,
facts,
nobody will. And the moment, even if you don't step up, if you step back, you're part of the problem. And I think the incident that you talked about was just that. A lot of people who maybe even didn't need to step up and fight and do this, but y'all didn't need to step back either. And in the moment where there's this pitting of what side of the bar you stand on, was Will right, was Will wrong, was Chris right, was Chris wrong, whatever. The fact of the matter is, at the core of the issue, it's just black people stepping up for black people. Like, who, no matter who you agree with, it didn't have to be a moment where we were divisive. I seen so many people arguing. Like, what you arguing about? What's the core of the issue?
That part.
That woman felt disrespected, and she should not have felt disrespected in that moment or in any moment.
That part. You see, when it happened, when it happened, when he was visibly upset, who was with him? Denzel, OG, came by him, consoled him, gave him advice, told him watch your head. I love what he said too.
Yeah.
I saw God is Dope. If you familiar with God is Dope, the clothing line.
On it.
They put a video today.
I don't know who works. Them are Fashion Nova.
It said defend black woman, and then on the back it said be careful at your highest moments. That's when the devil. What is it?
When at your highest moments when the devil attacks or something like that.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah. I'm like, oh, y'all ain't wasting no time. But I mean, it's so true. It's so true, man. So yeah, I can't speak for everybody. And once again, there's a million different ways you can land on this, but some of y'all just won't get this. Like, some of y'all won't understand it, and that's cool. And some of y'all, the reason why this even has to be said, you know what I mean? Because you're not cut from that fabric, and you don't think like, I don't know. I ain't trying to get all preaching on here, but
it's an everybody problem.
Yeah, it's an everybody problem. Nah, but I was watching people get interviewed, after the war show. Everybody's, what do you think about what happened? I don't condone violence. I don't.
No,
okay,
we're
I
not
got
asking you to.
Ask you too. Every black person in that room. I love Tiffany Haddish. If you have not seen Tiffany Haddish comments, she got so aggressive with this woman on the red carpet.
Oh, she was heated afterward. She
I
said
love
this ain't
it.
no costume.
You saw it? You saw it?
She said this was
He said,
fame
"Oh, you did a
like.
costume change? This ain't no costume. I ain't playing no character. This is what money look like."
So this is what fame look like. You see it? And then she did this head cock. Maybe when we do that
she
head cock,
she was aggressive. So okay, so what do you think about what happened? I loved it.
And then I like the reporter's response to because she said, "Time of death right now." Yes,
Yo, she played it.
She murdered
She
you.
was like, "I am on your side. I am not the enemy. You don't even know what you walked into with this energy." Nah, but I love that energy, man.
Yeah.
From this platform, we respect it. Once again, we don't condone violence, but at the same time, defend black women. That's it.
Defend black people.
That part. Especially y'all, though.
Especially us. But we all need to step up for each other. The days of sitting back and just taking it, it has to stop. Because if we don't respect us, nobody else will.
That part. Even against us, because Chris Rock definitely was the one that did it. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. 100%. I started off with saying this. We the worst. We're the worst offenders.
Absolutely. We dance to it. We dance to it.
Make love to it, all that.
You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with us?
Yeah.
Yo.
But that's how they get us.
Yeah.
And pitting us against each other. We wouldn't even be here. I ain't gonna give y'all no history lesson, but we wouldn't even be here. White people came in and they took us to the next land, but the only way that they got us is because we ushered our people into their hands. Absolutely. For money, for power.
Absolutely.
Power. We already had the power. We just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason. By pitting us against each other is the only reason why we spent 400 years in bondage.
That's deep. That's deep. Look, Audible podcast. I'm really glad we decided to do this and get on here and discuss this. Didn't want to let the moment pass and come back 2 weeks later. We finna be away in marital bliss. So, we had to come here and talk about it, because if we didn't, y'all were going to hear about it for 4 weeks and no one was going to care at that point.
And if y'all can't tell, this is something that we care about, right?
Absolutely.
This is something that's near and dear to both of our hearts. And I think a lot of times people see activists as those who are in the streets and at the elbow, and that's the only way that you can do it. Yeah. Sometimes just speaking up and bringing awareness to maybe a population of people who just didn't know is also being an activist. And in this way is how we step up and say, it's time for a change. We need to stop being so critical of each other. We also need to step up for each other. We need to support each other. And you ain't got to like everybody that you come across, but you don't got to tear them down either.
Yeah. And honestly, it starts with, and I think that's why I think we felt such a strong urge between us to really lean in on relationships, because that's where it starts at. When they wanted to tear this down, when they wanted to tear down the civil rights movement, when they wanted to tear down all of these movements that were really trying to liberate black folk, they tore down the black family. They started with the black man. And then it was so systematically done. It was strategic, and boy, did it work. To this day,
still working.
To this day, we're still trying to undo some of the stuff that was set in place during that time. So, absolutely, that's why this is so important. We hear about it all the time. Even nowadays, I don't take it personal, but it hurts my heart when I hear people that are close to us, or people that we know who are going through stuff in relationships. It's man, you know what? This work is so important. It's so consequential. We have to lean in here. Yeah. You know what I mean? We got to repair it, because it starts here.
And not for nothing, while I'm going to say it again, I don't condone violence. I don't like the way he expressed it. I'm glad it happened, because it gave a lot of people an opportunity who weren't having a conversation to start having a conversation.
Absolutely.
And it got us here to say, look, we talk about building relationships, but let me tell you the spirit behind it. Because it's not just we want everybody to be in love and be happy, woo, woo, foo, foo. Nah, It's the family structure that needs to be built back up. And that's what we're here to do. We talk about relationships and stuff, not to just talk about relationships. We're not just trying to be y'all couple goals. Like, that's not it for us. It's about restructuring, rebuilding, confidence in who you are as a man, confidence in who you are as a woman, and confidence in what y'all can be together, because it's bomb.
Absolutely. And that comes through hard work. Like, please don't ever look at this and say that's goals, because this here is work. This is work. This is difficult conversations. This is awkward silences. This is having the same conversation 3 or 4 times, coming to a standstill, coming back to that same conversation, having attitudes with one another, fighting through that, and fighting to keep coming back to a place where you're like, I love this person more than any other person on this planet.
And I want us to win.
That part. But you don't win unless you do the work. Shout out to Will and Jada, because, I mean, when I look at their situation, all the stuff that's happening in front of us, I don't know what they doing behind the scenes, but I know they was there together. I know regardless of all the stuff that they went through that we know about, he still stepped behind her. So you going like, I don't know what it looks like. And I don't want to sell the picture that it's all this gruesome and it's always bad and it's always that, because there's a lot of dope moments. You know what I mean? But it's how you handle the low moments that make you appreciate the high moments. You know what I'm saying? It's how you handle the bad that makes you really know how to reference the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we doing the work. We doing the work. And that's what this is about. It's about doing the work. Shout out to everybody doing the work. We love y'all. By this time next week, don't add us. Don't be like, what's going on with that? Don't hit us up about nothing. I don't care if something go wrong in the episode. Don't call us.
I go have to work it out or wait.
We gonna be in marital bliss. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of y'all who supported us. If you want to support us, we're not doing a big wedding. We done let y'all know everything. Y'all saw the proposal. We come here to talk every week, so this is gonna be something personal to us. But if you just want to show us some love, our Cash App is down here. It's $ what they never told us on Cash App. You can do that. We're live tomorrow.
Yes.
Right? Absolutely.
Well, Wednesday we're live. Right now, we told y'all today is Monday, so we live Wednesday.
Yeah. When you hear this is Tuesday, we'll be live tomorrow. And matter of fact, it's midnight, so it is Tuesday. Shut up. Can I use my gunshots? I never get to use those. Can't that button?
No, not tonight.
Somebody got slapped this episode.
Black people and black on black crime.
Somebody got slapped. I can't use the gunshots.
No.
Do it.
Oh my gosh, don't do it.
Shots fired!
Stepping on a beautiful moment. Thank y'all. We love.
Y'all should love too.
Peace.
Peace.